with you being there is because I know that they're trying to use you as like a leverage piece.
Because you're against it.
Against what?
Trans.
Because she took a screenshot of that conversation, right? I'm like, and I took the screenshot she had, and I highlighted the area that you said you don't condone it. She's like, oh, I didn't. I'm like, yeah, maybe you should actually read.
My name is
Samurai.
I live at
Ram Ranch, baby. Oh, yeah.
This is my confession.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Samurai, and most of you might know me from Rec Room content, Sale VR, maybe even if it's Tactical Assault VR. But there is something that we all cannot deny. I get myself into a lot of drama, and for this one in particular, I'm going to be going all out on this one. I am an owner of a bar on Rec Room, which is a recreation of the Afterlife bar from a game that I dearly love named Cyberpunk 2077. And I think there's a lot of much needed context for the situation that I'll be providing here in just a few seconds. I do want to clarify there's no script to this, but to basically give some quick context, imagine this. Me and my friends were speaking on Discord. Me and my friend Luna, or aka Rogue, as they like to call themselves now, we were talking about going into DMs to speak about an urgent matter, and that's when one of my friends named Napoleon joined in and said a joke by the words of, "Hey, you got that Riz." Which, yes, admittedly is wrong to say, but provided the context of the situation, it was clarified that it was a complete mistake and wasn't aimed at anybody in any ill intention. And in fact, Luna, aka Rogue, wasn't even offended by it. In fact, they understand the situation and understand that provided the context, it was just a mere mistake and he wasn't using it to harm anybody. But the problem is that a person named Lithala stepped in, somebody who we'll be talking about a lot during this video. Lithala stepped in and immediately started getting offended by the word, calling him homophobic or transphobic, and later even trying to have him removed from the bar. So, as you'll come to see, me and Luna realized the situation for what it is, but Lithala was the one who got offended on Luna's behalf. Pardon me for the terrible screenshot that looks like it's been taken off of a fucking Nintendo DS, but it's not like I can exactly zoom in on it. But you'll see that I have parts underlined, and this is an announcement that I made during a time where I was getting messages by some people of my staff team, and they were begging me and telling me that if I don't remove that certain individual, that it will affect our place badly. And I will say, yes, I was aggressive with it, and I should have taken it better. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit understandable considering all the stuff that was done. So I do want to put out there that I did end up speaking to that guy that sent me the message, and he wasn't aware of what exactly happened. It's not like Napoleon went around and started throwing slurs around at everybody, like trying to argue with anybody or anything. It's literally just that one specific sentence that he said that started everyone, well, almost everyone, like calling him homophobic, transphobic, and stuff like that. Which you'll see in the screenshot that I provided of like my announcement. You'll see that I don't condone slurs. In fact, I consistently say that nobody should be using slurs at all whatsoever. And that I can give some leniency considering that, like, here, like for example, transphobia means that you would have to hate a certain group of people in order for it to be transphobic. Now, intent matters. If this person was intending to harm people, yes, you could argue that it's transphobic, it's hurtful, and stuff alike. But provided that was said by mistake, by definition, you cannot claim that this is harmful in any way, like transphobic, homophobic, or things alike, and that's my entire point. But lo and behold, you have people that didn't read my message at all accusing me of allowing discrimination and allowing the use of slurs if the context wasn't used in malicious intent. Which is not what I said at all. I said that nobody should use slurs at all. However, I honestly could kind of care less if the person was just a kid or if he was saying it in, not to be malicious or harm anybody. I still tell them, like, hey, don't say that, but it's not like I would be offended if the person was saying it by mistake. That's my entire point. But that alone must have been me declaring war on the transgender community because almost immediately Lethala started going to different rooms like Ember and Ivy, the LGBTQ rooms, the Black Cat, Tay singing stage, rooms that have nothing to do with the LGBTQ or trans community at all anyways, and trying to get me banned from there, claiming that I use slurs myself and that I'm transphobic and allow discrimination in the bar. Now, I wouldn't throw shade at these people if it weren't for the fact that they weren't also part of the problem. They actively engaged in defamation against me in my bar by making up reasons that were completely false, claiming that I myself use slurs, and even eventually changing the ban reasons through days because they were slowly starting to find out that they're fucking around and finding out that this is just entirely bullshit, saying that I use slurs at once, but then changing the ban reason later on to say that I was transphobic. I specifically said within the same exact message that I don't condone people using slurs, but I could care less.
Well, I pointed that out to Lilith that because she took a screenshot of that conversation, right? And I took the screenshot she had, and I highlighted the area that you said you don't condone it. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe you should actually read
Brother,
the fine print."
Wait, see, So in case you're wondering, these are the screenshots that Lethal has been spreading around to these different rooms that have banned me, claiming that I use and condone the use of slurs and that I'm transphobic. These are the screenshots of the announcement I made where I'm actively not condoning slurs. You have to be a dumb motherfucker to seriously not read the fucking message and still claim that I condone and use slurs. It's like taking a sledgehammer and then swinging it at the pillars of your own argument. If you're going to go around rooms claiming that I'm saying slurs and I'm transphobic, it's probably not the wisest decision to use a screenshot that you didn't even fucking read, saying that I condone slurs when the screenshot says I don't condone slurs. How the fuck did people even see this and believe it anyways? This makes me more concerned for the people who read this screenshot and believed this shit.
Don't condone it? She's like, "Oh, I didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe you should actually read
Brother,
the fine print."
Wait, see, I beg your pardon. So let me get this straight, right? She took an image of my announcement, claiming that it was transphobic, but she didn't even read the fucking message.
Well, that's why I went and like highlighted that you do not.
Oh my fucking god. You see, this is exactly why I don't usually like arguing with these people, let alone the fact that I don't like giving into them. This is why I will never apologize. These people...
I get all my information. LGBTQ.
Okay, so you get all of your information from the LGBTQ place?
From a certain person and safe space.
So, I'm going to assume that that's Lethala.
That is true.
Were you going to people last night telling them that they shouldn't be in here because I'm transphobic or homophobic?
I only told one person.
Why are you telling that to anybody at all?
Because you're against it.
Against what?
Trans.
Could you give me an example of how I'm against trans people?
Okay, so you know how when somebody says trans, it's a little hurtful or whatever.
When
It's
people
like
say
saying the
trans, it's
N-word.
hurtful.
Yes, it's like the N-word to them.
How is saying the word trans hurtful? I mean, isn't that what they are? Transgender?
Yeah, but they rather be called what they are.
Yeah, that's what they are.
They don't want to be called trans.
Transgender. So what?
They want to be called either, if they're a girl, then they're a girl. They don't want to be called trans.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't view it that way, DJ. I mean, if, like, say for instance, a male wants to become a female, they go through the process of, transitioning. That's the entire point, transitioning, which would consider them a transgender. That's not a slur, that's a literal, like, defining term for who they are. In fact, I have never heard of an instance where the word trans or transgender was a slur itself. In fact, if you're going to possibly argue that saying the word trans or transgender is transphobic, what about like saying somebody who's like gay, for instance? What if I say they're gay? Is that also a slur?
No, if you call them faggot.
Okay, well, you just use a slur right there. Doesn't that make you homophobic?
Myself one.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Good. But anyways, so what's the difference between saying gay and trans? Like, how come one is a slur and one isn't? Even though they're both defining terms for who they are.
I don't know. I got it from them.
Indeed. I don't think that people like this really think for themselves. I think they just reciprocate what other people are telling them. Hence why this person couldn't tell me why saying the word transgender itself was a slur. That's fucking ridiculous. Who would have thought that the word trans or transgender itself was a slur?
Thank you. See, the thing is, like, so the conversation we had
Don't be sure.
really annoying. Well, the thing is, like, she tried to really convince me, like, she's like, don't trust anyone. I'm like, okay, so I'm not supposed to trust my best friend? I was like, that's impossible.
Don't trust anyone, bro. She sounded like one of those, like, fucking...
She's already got people, like, I'm like, okay, guys, y'all are going a little bit too far. This is a video game. Well, the thing is, like, she was trying to convince me, like, she was religiously trying to convince me. I'm like, yo, no. Well, like, she was sitting there, well, like, she's invited me to come work with all the places that she works. I'm like, okay, that's great. I don't mind that, but my heart's still in the freaking afterlife.
I want to ask you, was she trying to guilt you, like, make you feel guilty for any way for still caring about the afterlife even just a little bit? Like,
But she tried, and I was like, you do.
may I remind you that this is a grown man in his 30s starting a cancellation campaign against my bar and me, saying that I'm transphobic and use slurs, going to different rooms that they don't even own themselves to try and get me banned there. And I don't care if you claim that I'm misgendering you either, bro. Just go outside and touch some fucking grass. I genuinely don't care. You can play your own little fucking mind games, but I'm not gonna play along with it. This is also primarily the reason why I will never apologize to you or anybody, and it's because this was all caused by you just not reading my fucking message and trying to ruin my reputation because of a personal bias and out of pettiness. You claim that I have willful ignorance by not, doing my research about the origins of the word, but you can't even read my message when you're claiming that I'm transphobic or homophobic, and going to rooms claiming that I use slurs when you have no evidence or proof of me using slurs. And when that shit immediately stopped working, you went to another room owner of the DMS shop and then started calling them transphobic for not helping you enough.
I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna fucking crash out.
Why?
Because now, you know the person I've spoke to her like yesterday, the trans woman?
Yeah, Lasala.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's saying that I'm transphobic because that I'm
Are
lying.
you fucking serious?
This is primarily the issue. You blown this way out of proportion, something that was supposed to be seen as a simple mistake, and turned it into this whole cancellation campaign. You didn't want to settle this by, like, having a conversation. You wanted to win because you didn't read the fucking message, and you just wanted to feel like a victim.
I don't think they're transphobic because I know that they're trying to use you as like a leverage piece to say that they have a trans person in that room and that they're not transphobic when they clearly have been, and their usage of everything has been only for like certain things, but even then it's not used anymore, not by really trans people, and even though we have ownership for the word, and it's not used for that. The proper term is just trans because they are just people.
When somebody says trans, it's a little hurtful or whatever.
When
It's
people
like, I don't know, I got it from them.
So it's, you know, just kind of where it is. It's not meant in a harmful context like that, because they weren't saying that they completely opposed or did anything in that matter. Well, that's why we learn. I didn't know certain Spanish words were offensive to Spanish, but they have a long history also.
So say if you were to say one of those slurs in Spanish, not knowing that it was a slur, what if I started calling you racist and getting you banned from a bunch of rooms then? Would it be okay? Probably not. But because somebody used a slur against you that was accidental and not meant in bad faith, it's the end of the world, right? With that being said, this is truly why I'm never going to apologize or quote-unquote take accountability for anything I've done. In fact, I find it completely pointless to even get into arguments with these people, because this all happened because you didn't even have the courtesy to read my full message, which led to people banning me from their rooms and other people calling me transphobic for your negligence to even understand what my point actually was. People like Trekkie, Madam Valor, think that they know the entire situation because they're just reciprocating what you told them. But you didn't even have the courtesy to understand what my point actually was, so that is why I'm not going to fucking apologize. This is also why I'm going to be harsh on most of the room creators that banned me. It's because you guys willfully listened to somebody that self-admittedly neglected reading my message to even understand my point, which you encouraged and literally assisted them with defaming me, banning me, and having people harass my staff to have them leave because I'm quote-unquote transphobic. That's why I'm not going to apologize. Fuck you.